They're nanobots. Right. Microscopic biorobots that can enter your system by the slightest contact with your skin. Programmed with DNA to target specific individuals. Heracles was designed to be the most efficient weapon in our arsenal, passing through people harmlessly before reaching its intended target. But Gorbachev modified the nanobots so that they can kill anyone related to the target. Anyone? Well, since it's DNA-based with further modifications, yes. Families, certain genetic traits, single nucleotide variants and polymorphisms that could target a range from individuals to whole ethnicities. You infect enough people, and the people become the weapons.
We need to talk about bioweapons. Well, I know a lot now about bioweapons because I've been doing a book on it for the past 2.5 years, and you know, the technology that we now have to develop these microbes, we've put hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there's an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately. The races that are most immune to COVID-19 are because of the structure of the genetic structure of genetic differentials among different races of the receptors of the ACE2 receptor. COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese. But we don't know whether it was deliberately targeted that or not. But there are papers out there that show the racial and ethnic differential impact to that. We do know that the Chinese are spending hundreds of millions of dollars developing ethnic bioweapons, and we are developing ethnic bioweapons. That's what all those labs in the Ukraine are about. They're collecting Russian DNA. They're collecting Chinese DNA so that we can target people by race.
Bioweapons. Targeting specific racial or race groups, ethnic backgrounds. Oh, I see. What does this word bio mean? Life representing living organisms, processes, or personal history. Ain't that something? First of all glory and honor belongs to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All praises to the Most High of Yasharallah. And this is Uriah, brought to you in full by IS Vengeance. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, the great men who have spread this truth from generation to generation. And we shall proclaim it. We must. Why? Why, you might ask? Because we are at war. That's why. Because the enemy is tracing and marking your every step. Hey, and it gets deeper than this, Yasharallah. Wait a minute. Ecclesiastes 3:8. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. What profit have he that worketh in that wherein he laboreth? I have seen the travail which Yahweh have given to the sons of men, to be exercised in it. 11. He have made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he have set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that Yahweh maketh from the beginning to the end. So hold on. We're at war. There's a time for war and a time for peace. Also, he have seen the travail of men, the children, the sons of men, because he have set the world in their heart. Job 9:24 is given unto them. I showed y'all a clip in the beginning of a 007 movie that came out in 2008, which was called No Time to Die. And in that clip, just like they do all the time, they hide their agendas within movies, within TV shows. These nanobots that they were speaking of in the movie, but these bioweapons also that JFK was speaking of in this clip, they target specific racial, ethnic groups. I mean, this is real. They've been working on this stuff since the early 2000s. So wait a minute. It gets deeper. I don't know if y'all remember, but when COVID came out, they specifically, just like these nanobots, just like this bioengineering, these bioweapons, they targeted a specific group. And it was always you, Jake, from the beginning. But they targeted y'all. Hey man, come to this McDonald's and buy a burger, or we'll give you the burger for free, and you get a free COVID shot. I mean, it was all type of madness going on. But it gets deeper. Check this out.
And that's Lyme disease. Cases have gone up 168% over the last 5 years across Michigan. Take a look at that.
Oh, that's too close. That's too close and that's too big. Local 4's Shantae Passmore is live with a look at how Macomb County is monitoring the spike in those black-legged ticks. Ugh.
I know, guys. You know what? Most people might be familiar with the American dog tick. They're fairly large in size, but the black-legged ticks, they're much smaller, and they can be found in wooded areas like here. And this morning, we're taking a look at some of the hot spots and what you need to do if you're spending time outdoors. There is something nice about a stroll in the park.
We've tried some other trails around the park, but we keep coming back to this area because it has some nice variety, a few hills.
Drone 4 shows hints of fall foliage in northern Macomb County underneath the tree canopy. Joe DeCosta's stroll looks different. The environmentalist from Macomb County Health Department is looking for black-legged ticks. And the method is?
The method is called a tick drag. So basically we take a cloth, it rolls around the ground, and then we inspect that cloth every 20 meters for any sort of ticks that we would have collected. So as those ticks quest and look for hosts, they'll attach to moving objects that are coming by. So when they attach to that tick drag cloth, we're able to identify them and then collect them from that cloth.
The black-legged tick population is exploding, including in northern Macomb County, sometimes slightly bigger than a poppy seed. It's known to carry the bacteria that causes Lyme disease.
See this? How bizarre. That's going viral in the United States. People, there are hundreds of videos showing the tick infestation, which they are transmitters of Lyme disease. It's something like that, never before seen, all right? Right? The farmers in the United States are in shock. Everything you are seeing here is ticks. And the tick is the transmitting vector of Lyme disease. Every year they make a forecast, or rather a prediction of how it will be, the tick season. Because when spring starts, that's when ticks start to reproduce. And then they make a forecast here. So look here, it's the March forecast. It's fairly controlled. Now look at the forecast for April. Look at this. The entire country taken over. Look here, over there on the side towards California, Nevada. I'm going to tell you something. This isn't normal, no. And how do I know so much about ticks? How do I know about this story? Because I have extensive experience caring for stray animals and with tick infestations. Do you think the situation in Europe is different? It's not different. It is one of the biggest outbreaks ever observed by the health authorities of countries in the northern hemisphere. So we are expecting here now in April, as the weather warms up, an outbreak. Of all this, I told you in the videos of the farmers in the United States, it is already beginning. There are several types of ticks. Only some types transmit Lyme disease. But there is a very bizarre thing happening precisely because of this outbreak. Pfizer, the pharmaceutical company, has just launched a vaccine that has 70% efficacy against Lyme disease. This is in every newspaper you can imagine. What's most interesting, the crazy part, is that they release a vaccine exactly when we are expecting the biggest tick outbreak in the history of humanity. This is the vaccine. It is just awaiting FDA approval, which is the health authority of the United States, and soon it will be available worldwide. And I thought it was good. That part about the vaccine I thought was good. But I just wanted to ask you, how do they do that? Because I've already seen this elsewhere on the cover of The Economic Magazine for 26. Look, this portion here is the portion that represents the month of April of 2026. And look there, vaccine, medicine, pill. Last year when I analyzed this cover here, I said, folks, they are going to discover a cure for some disease. At some point, this should happen there. From mid to late March to early April, the launch of this cure. And folks, look at that. Look at that. How do they know everything that will happen in the exact way it will happen? Lately, I've been wondering because you know people, which isn't my case, okay? I have contact with street animals. I help street animals. I know that there really is a tick outbreak at this time, but no, nothing like what will happen in this year of 2026. The health authorities are saying that they have never seen anything like what is going to happen as soon as the weather warms up, because actually here in Europe, the weather is colder than normal for the season. So ticks don't reproduce as much, but if there's that heat spike, it already starts. So I got to thinking, isn't the increased reproduction of these ticks precisely to justify that vaccine? Or is it just a scientific advance? Because I don't know if you all know, but Lyme disease is awful. It is extremely dangerous, and the thing is, everything depends on how long the tick stays attached to your skin. So if you live in the northern hemisphere, if you have contact with nature, if you go hiking, these things, be very careful. When you get home, take a look at your clothes to see if there's nothing hanging, to see if there's nothing on your body, because this is very serious, my people, and get ready. Do you see?
Exodus 15:2. Yahweh is my strength and song, and he is become my salvation. He is my power, and I will prepare him an habitation. My father's God, and I will exalt him. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. So remember, there's a time for everything, Yasharala. And we at war. This is the time of war. Our power is a power of war. And war will increase. Y'all see what's going on with these variants. Hey, check this out too. Man, there's different variants of this C19. And man, like I said, is accelerating. Salakia. But we at war, and always keep that in mind. For Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will have us in this synchronized spirit, in this hive mind, and body, and spirit, on the righteousness hand side, or the righteous hand side. I'm going to remind y'all that we in a time of war. Run that war beam footage.
That's ICE right there. They gearing up. They over here by the old Campbell Soup Factory. What's up? Can we all come together and come block this entrance over here? There's probably some more entrances and shit, but can we all come together right quick?
Do y'all remember back in 2020 and 2021 when we were talking about FEMA camps and how they were popping up everywhere? There was even videos going around that people were thinking Walmarts were closing down and becoming these FEMA camps as well. Everyone was believing that, right? Because it seemed like our government was trying to control us, with the you-know-whats. The only difference from back then was we didn't have these rogue officers going around and terrorizing people. But now we do. And now we hear that ICE is buying mega warehouse detention centers across the U.S. Now, this is a map of where these warehouses will be built. Now I want to show you another map. These little red lines are Amtrak routes, trains. And they so happen to be everywhere that these little red dots are. Not only that, but look at just the railroad map. So why is it a couple of years ago, people were believing that this was actually happening? But we are literally watching our country become a police state with surveillance systems, huge detention centers being built all around the railroads. And everybody just ignores it because they think they don't have to worry about it.
We at war. So when you at war, you hold your spiritual post. You do not freight a little. You do not flinch. Spiritually, you're inclined and awake. You're watching on the battlefield. You're prepared to fight And what do you need to be prepared? Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh. You need this armor. You need to flex up and show yourself approved. Through grace, through faith, you need this armor. Through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's word. Because things about to get ugly. Always keep in mind, Yasharallah, and keep yourself in this state of mind of war. Because that's the time we're in. Keep the armor of Yahweh on. Why? That ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Remember, we started this lesson in Ecclesiastes, right? The world is in their hand. It's in their heart that he inclined the wicked because it's in them and he gave the earth to them. But we got to keep on this armor, the armor of Yahweh, that we may be able to stand. The whole armor, that ye be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked. Who are the wicked? Esau, Edom. The earth is given. It is in his heart to be able to quench the fiery darts. Wait a minute. Psalms 144:1, a psalm of David. Blessed be Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, my strength, which teacheth my hands to war, and my fingers to fight. Blessed be Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. He teacheth our souls to war. He teacheth our spiritual essence to fight, and gives us the knowledge and the withal on how to preparate and be prepared for this war that we're in. Because it's damn sure war. Girt your loins, Yasharallah. Our women, take this breastplate and this shield of truth. Tie your laces with spiritual artifacts. Our men, carry your swords of righteousness. Engulf your spirit. Place the helmet of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai upon you. Because we're at war.
Good evening. We do begin tonight with the alarming moments, the toxic emergency that unfolded in Weatherford, Oklahoma. This is about 70 miles outside Oklahoma City. At least 36 people rushed to the hospital tonight, at least 11 of them in critical condition. Hundreds more were evacuated. The alarming scene overnight, the thick cloud of ammonia gas blanketing the area. Authorities say a tanker truck began leaking ammonia in a hotel parking lot. The truck carrying 25,000 pounds of ammonia. Authorities investigating the cause of the leak. Residents told to shelter in place. Officials now monitoring air quality, and many of these patients, as I said, remain in critical condition at this hour. Trevor Ault leading us off with the images tonight.
Tonight west of... So wait, a truck carrying 22 pounds of ammonia or tons of ammonia just started leaking out of nowhere. And now you have a bunch of people in critical condition fighting for their life. How does this happen out of nowhere? Wait a minute. Yasharallah, I have a hunch. Did y'all hear this story? Check it out.
fucking live. You know, we may not get paid enough to fucking live, but these bitches dirt cheap. All you had to do was pay us enough to live. All you had to do was pay us enough to fucking live. All you had to do was pay us enough to live. There goes your inventory.
We are following some breaking news right now out of Miami Gardens. And what you're looking at here is a warehouse fire. This is a 4-alarm fire that is happening. If we can pull up the address here, it is 2600 block and Northwest 47th Avenue. What we know is this is just south of the Turnpike. So you might be seeing the smoke if you're in and around the Turnpike near Miami Gardens, that black, thick smoke billowing there from this 4-alarm fire. So many units are trying to attack this fire from the scene. And if we're getting closer here, you can just see this is fully engulfed in that black smoke, speaking to what perhaps is inside. So this is a company. This is 3PL, right? This is, Rox, is that what you're saying, the company's name?
Yep, it's a Global Warehouse Solutions and 3PL Fulfillment and Drayage Miami. Again, this is in Miami Gardens. Just for some perspective, this is just...
Wait, okay. So follow me. Follow my hunch. So now you got warehouses burning. I feel like these are scheduled. These are controlled like everything else. But also you got ICE barreling into warehouses to create these FEMA camps, which a lot of them are already existing. But these detention centers are popping up all over. And now you got warehouses burning down, not only for the FEMA enclosement, but I feel like this is for production's sake. Because collapsing the economy is one thing, but also steering the shipments and merchandise on the other end is another. So burning down these warehouses, but also the shipments are non-existent.
US ports, shipping ports are completely empty. They have completely stopped, and now the effects of the tariffs have started. If you go online and search Port of Seattle, you will see that it is completely empty. There's nothing there. The ports near Texas, every US-based port is completely empty. There's nothing coming in from China. There's nothing in there at all. And it is really, really scary to actually see the effects of these tariffs in place. Now, there is nothing good about this for the US. I mean, it is all bad. And the Americans are about to feel the pinch.
So while we're seeing this, Yasharala, on so many different fronts, there's so many. I can't even show all in this video, but trust and believe I'll be back very soon with another. But we see these different variants, these nano extractions that they're putting in these vaccines, these pandemics, these FEMA posterities, right? All of these things occurring. We see. Keep in mind, there's also fires breaking out everywhere because we're at war. And when you're at war, you pay attention to the intricate things, especially within, through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Keep this mind state, Yasharala, because that's where we are. Inclined. Psalms 24:7. Lift ye your hands, or lift up your hands, O ye gates, and be ye lift up, ye everlasting doors. And the King of glory shall come in. All praises. This sound like victory to me, because we've already won the war. The battle is just ensued. Verse 8, who is this King of glory? Who is he? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, strong and mighty. Aman. Yahweh, mighty in battle. So we are in this battle. This battle is ensuing, but we've already won the war. Keep this in mind, Yasharallah. For all things is synchronized through the Spirit. Aman? Aman. Remain spiritual, Yasharallah. Remain spiritual. For the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Remain spiritual. Peace 'em out.